Hey there. In this video, I'm going to go over how to change a string on a violin or a viola. I have a violin here that has a broken D string, and the string is broken too. I've already taken it off. But I'm going to put a new D string on here, and maybe your string broke because you were tuning with your peg and you weren't following the rules about turning with the peg, and you thought, oh, it just feels loose. Turned it too far and went pop. Or you weren't watching a tuner and listening while you were tuning it and you tuned it too far. Remember, tuning with pegs, tiny turns while you're listening. If you need help with tuning with your pegs, check the description below. I have a video that'll go over how to do it. But let's say for some reason you have to replace a string. Either you broke it on accident, or sometimes they just break by themselves and that just happens. Or let's say that the winding on the string, the wrapping, is just coming loose and the string is starting to sound all crummy, which happens too, and you just need to replace the string. I'm going to go over the steps here. I have a couple of things that I'm going to use to show you what we need to do. I got a couple of tools, and I'm doing this on a student quality instrument that has all 4 fine tuners. If you've moved beyond having an instrument that has all 4 fine tuners, then you probably don't need this kind of help anyway. All right, so the first thing is I have my instrument. I have a string to put back on there. I have a really small screwdriver, which I use sometimes in certain conditions. You don't always need that. It depends on the fine tuners and which particular solution you like to use if your fine tuners are a problem. And I have a pencil. A pencil is really important. So the first step is I'm actually going to take this pencil. I like to use a mechanical pencil for this because it's nice and sharp and it fits down in the grooves really nicely. I want to put a little bit of graphite in the groove on the nut. I'm going to put a little bit of graphite in the groove on the bridge. That's going to help the string slide really easily, and it'll keep it from binding, and it'll tune easier, and it'll last longer. So that's the first step. Just a little bit of graphite in the groove at the bridge and the nut. All right, next step is I'm going to open my string. There's all different kinds of strings out there. I'm not even going to start with recommending different kinds of strings for you. You're going to have to do your own research on that. I'm not going to make an endorsement video here. But I have a D string, and I'm going to go ahead and unwind it. Okay, so the next step is going to be to check the fine tuner. Now, fine tuners that are built into the tailpiece usually don't have any problem accepting whatever kind of string you have. You just drop the ball on the end of the string down in there. Sometimes, like the fine tuners that are on this instrument, they're just a little bit too skinny. The string is not going to seat down inside that fine tuner. Some strings, this one does not, have a little hole through the end of the ball. In that case, you can take the top of the string and thread it through the hole. This one does not have that, and it'll make a little loop on the end of the string that you can just wrap around the fine tuner, and that's a good solution. But this one is too thick to fit in my fine tuner, and it does not have a hole through the ball, so now I am going to need to use my little screwdriver. And what I'm going to do with my little screwdriver is I'm going to go into my fine tuner right here, and I am going to very, very gently put the screwdriver in there and just give it a little twist to very gently and very slightly bend open the prongs on that fine tuner until it's just wide enough for my string to fit in. So I just did that. I'm going to give it a check here. I need to go just a little bit farther. Just a gentle twist. They usually bend pretty easily, and you don't want to bend them too far. All right, so that string fits comfortably down inside the fine tuner now, and I am ready to string it on. All right, I am going to take a moment and change my camera angle so that you can really see what I'm doing to get the string threaded onto the peg. Okay, so hopefully I've got the camera placed where you can see it really well. I've got my string here, and I've got my D peg. I make sure I've got the correct peg. I never want to take the other strings off, only one string at a time, right? So if you have to change more than one string, just do one at a time. All right, so first thing is I'm going to find the hole in the peg. I'm going to thread the string into it. And I'm going to start turning it away from me so that the string winds over the top. My first turn is going to be away from the side of the peg box. I'm only going to do one turn like that, and then and try to move my fingers out of the way, make sure I don't block your view. Then I'm going to come around and I'm going to go to the other side of the string and start turning towards the peg box. That gives me a little pinch on the little end of the string that's going to be sticking out, which I pulled out a little bit when I was trying to move around, so I'm going to stick that back through. You don't need much coming through. That's plenty. That's more than enough. So I'm going to go one turn away from the peg box, and then I'm going to start turning towards the peg box. It is really important, and that's going to pinch that string a little bit and help keep it from sliding. Very important that as you wind your string, you want to make neat coils out towards the edge of the peg box. If you wind it the wrong way, then you're going to have your string pulling the peg out. So you want the friction or the action of the string, the tension of the string, pulling your peg in towards the center of the instrument, and that'll help the peg stay. If you wind it the wrong way, you're going to have the tension of the string pulling your peg back out, and it won't stay. It's going to be slipping all the time, and you're going to be wondering why. All right, so my windings have gotten a little bit loose, so I'm actually going to pull my peg out towards it and kind of push those windings together, and then I'm going to keep winding it in. Right, so now once I get to about right here, where the string just starts making some tone, I'm going to pause and I'm going to make sure that I have a tuner ready to go. If you're not sure how to tune with the peg, because now you just have to get it in tune the rest of the way with the peg, please check the description. I have a video for how to tune with pegs. So I'm going to start looking at a tuner right now to finish tuning this up. But that's basically what you're looking for, and I'm going to stop as soon as the string starts making tone. Okay, so I've got my string on. It's making just a little bit of tone. I have a tuner, and now I'm going to finish up as if I were tuning with a peg. Always making sound, turning a tiny bit at a time. We're on a B, C, C sharp. Pretty close to a D. And that's all I need to get is pretty close. I'll finish up with the fine tuner. And now I have my string changed. That's all there is to it. You just want to be really careful with the peg turning part. All right, so I hope this video was helpful for you. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.